Hey folks, Eric is the whatever guy because it really is whatever me. And do you folks want to know about them possibly pushing this farm bill off for the next 2 years? You guys stick around, man, and we'll talk about that. As you guys know, man, my name's Eric. I am the whatever guy, and I usually shoot videos a couple days a week, basically keeping you guys updated in the world Delta 8, Delta 9, Delta 10, hemp cannabis, just what's going on around. And today, man, got a real doozy for you guys, man. As I've said many times before, we've been covering the farm bill for the last several videos talking about the issues going forward. As you guys may or may not know, there's a big spat in Congress. They're arguing back and forth. There's possibly a government shutdown coming. And I've told you guys many times before that the part of the farm bill that we're most worried about is just a small portion of what the farm bill is. The farm bill is government subsidies for farmers. It's SNAP benefits. It's a $1 trillion bill, and these minor cannabinoids in the hemp space is really just a small portion of it. In 2018, the passing of this farm bill, the current farm bill that we're under, is actually what made all these products and stuff that we talk about on this channel legal. But as we move forward, that farm bill actually ends at the end of this month, and we're supposed to be getting a new 2023 farm bill. But as it stands right now, according to this article, we're gonna flip over here and look at that possibly is going to push us off for the next 2 years. Now, this article was actually brought to me. I actually fell across this article from a guy named Gary Karras. If you guys are in the industry and you are on LinkedIn or any place like that, go over there and like Gary Karras, or at least follow Gary Karras. That guy's probably got, I've got 1,000-foot view of the industry, and this guy's got 1,000-foot view and a 3,000-foot view. And usually what happens is with Gary Karras is, man, if you'll just watch his posts, you'll actually see what's going to happen, before it happens. It wasn't that long ago that he was espousing, telling people to get on contracts for hemp biomass because a lot of the farmers were getting out of the industry. And sure enough, 3 or 4 months later, there's a lot of people looking for hemp biomass because there's just not a lot of it in the industry. Gary Karras is a really good follow for you guys out there in the industry, and someone that I look up to, and I follow him very closely to pay attention to what's going on in the industry. So I'm going to switch over to an article over here at Politico. This is where I actually saw it. First thing I'm going to do is flip over to this is the post that Gary Karras posted on LinkedIn. I was kind of caught off guard. I'm usually the one that catches these articles before most people do. But kudos, like I said, to Gary Karras for bringing this to the forefront. I actually saw this. And so it says here, it says, so if you have been of the opinion that the Farm Bill revision would address the issues of legality and potential restriction or banning of hemp-derived THC-A, Delta-8, HEC, etc., you may be correct. The thing is, though, you may be waiting another year or 2 years as Congress contemplates a punt extension of the current farm bill. I've said many times on this channel that I wasn't quite 100% sure, about the legalities of it, about them pushing this farm bill off. Like I said, I know it ends at the end of this month, but I'm not a legal scholar. I don't know, I didn't know that they could actually punt this off. So I've been mentioning that in the last couple of videos. We're going to look at this, and what you're going to find out is that the argument that is basically going to end up pushing this farm bill off has nothing to do with hemp and cannabis. It mostly has to do with farm subsidies. For those of you that aren't in the rural South, like I've got friends of mine that work for farmers, and what happens with them is they'll work 80 to 90 to 100 hours a week during the farming period, but at the end of the week they'll only get a 40-hour check. And what happens is they will, around October or November, according to this farm bill, those farmers will get a subsidy. And then what will happen is you'll find out that a lot of the farm workers will get a big check around October. That's because that subsidy check comes in for the farmers, and they're able to pay them all that back overtime that they were able to pay. So like I said, the farm bill makes that possible for those farmers to be able to keep that, keep those employees on the payroll. And then obviously the other part of the farm bill is the SNAP benefits and the food stamps and stuff like that. So we're going to look at this article and see what it says. It says dragging out the farm bill would sideline several Republican initiatives in rural America, but would also help Speaker Kevin McCarthy avoid another mutiny from his right flank. Let me scroll down here. The Senate was supposed to bring a grown-up attitude to hashing out a $1 trillion farm and food legislation while the White House swirled in dysfunction. Instead, the Senate's negotiations over the bill, which will affect everything from subsidies for inflation-stressed farmers to nutrition programs for low-income families, are unraveling as Republicans and Democrats spar over climate change and other big-ticket items. So like I said, guys, this article is not even addressing the Delta-8 and the HEC and all that other stuff. Really, the biggest part of the farm bill is these stressed farmers, these subsidies for these stressed farmers, and then obviously the nutrition programs for the low income families. Just as the nation braces for the government shutdown this weekend, several programs tied to the once every 5 years farm bill are also set to lapse. Leaders in both the House and Senate say their new goal is to pass legislation by the end of the year, when the bulk of agriculture programs expire. But the rare public spat over legislation that's long married the interest of rural Republicans with urban Democrats has many interest groups worried the bill will get sidelined much longer than that. Behind closed doors, lawmakers are starting to raise whether a 1 or 2 year punt will be necessary, particularly as Republicans demand new increases for key farm programs and a hard right mutiny paralyzes the House. That kind of delay would put additional strain on a sector already dealing with high inflation, potentially creating an election year headache for ag state lawmakers and farmers don't see if farmers don't see relief. If we don't get that beefed up, there's not going to be a farm bill this year. There's going to be a 1 year extension, said Chuck Grassley, a longtime member of the Ag Committee. In recent weeks, both Democrats and Republicans have privately and publicly threatened to blow up the bipartisan talks being led by Senate Agriculture Committee Chair Debbie Stabenow, and Senator John Boozman of Arkansas. The panel's top Republicans. And as Stabenow, who is a member of the Democratic leadership, insists there isn't enough money to significantly boost funding for some of the farm programs Boozman, Grassley, and other Republicans want, Democrats are under intense pressure from the left to protect $20 billion in money for climate-centered agricultural projects. That's what you guys have to understand here. In all of this, in everything that's going on, like I said, the hemp bill portion of it for us is just a small portion, but they're starting to stick a whole bunch of shit inside of here. They're actually sticking a lot of the climate controlled stuff inside of this farm bill and forcing these farmers into a position to do things that they don't want to do or really don't have any effect on the climate. And that's really what is going to end up slowing down the farm bill as we move forward. The cash was authorized in Democrats' Inflation Reduction Act last year, and Senate Republicans want to remove tight restrictions on how the money can be spent if it's added to the farm bill. Defending the programs prompted Tennessee Senator Tommy Tuberville of Alabama to take the Senate floor to accuse Democrats of prioritizing climate and welfare spending over America's farmers, a charge Democrats say ignores how climate change is already affecting food producers. After leaving a closed-door meeting of Agriculture Committee Democrats in Stabenow's Senate hideaway last week, Senator Cory Booker warned he would not support any effort to undo the IRA's climate-focused agricultural programs. The initiative, he said, are designed to help farmers improve their yields and fight climate change. Now, I don't, this is the whole thing. Like this dude, fucking Cory Booker's probably never planted a seed a day in his life, and he's going to sit up here and make legislation and tell these fucking farmers how they're supposed to be growing the food that we eat every day. It's just the hypocrisy of it is really just blows my mind. The Senate's acrimony escalated so quickly that Stabenow and Boozman met last week in an effort to tamp down tensions, according to 3 people familiar with the plans. Senator Boozman and I have a good working relationship. When asked about rising tensions, right now we are both focused on writing a strong bipartisan 2023 farm bill that secures the farm and family safety net and meets the needs of the American people. Boozman has similarly said that the pair maintain a good relationship and they're trying to work through the issues. The fact that you're not a farmer and you're basically telling these farmers how they should grow their shit to get an extra yield out of it really just blows my mind all the way around. If you're actually out in rural America and you actually go out and meet a fucking farmer and you were to actually go out on his property and try to tell him some shit like that, he might shoot you. He might kick you off. If you're lucky, at the very least, you get kicked off his fucking property. Like, who are you to sit up here in a Senate House meeting in a office, clean as your dungarees can possibly be, and you're going to sit here and tell these fucking farmers that have been doing it their whole life how they can do it better? That doesn't make any sense. That's not even going to go over very well with those guys. When asked earlier this month if the farm bill talks might reach a point where Democrats need to push their own bill, the Michigan senator who is retiring at the end of Congress replied, "Not at this point. But time is running out. If Congress can't pass a new farm bill by the end of the year, senators have begun warning that a long extension of the current legislation might be unavoidable. That prospect would force lawmakers to continue negotiating a politically sensitive topics through the heat of the 2024 presidential and congressional races." And that's what they're trying to do, guys. Like, they want to get this fucking thing signed, filed, and ready to go before we hit 2024 and we make that run for the presidential election. And that's basically seems to be the push that's going on in Congress right now. A 2-year extension would punt the farm bill clear into the next Congress. It's a move that would represent a major failure for Republicans in particular, who represent a majority of rural districts, but it would protect the legislation and Speaker Kevin McCarthy from yet another hard right mutiny. Guys, this is just another tool that they're using in a way to get what they want up there. And as I've said many times before, you can see all the issues that we have with the farm bill before we even ever get to the Delta 8, the THC-A, and the banning or the restricting of those type of products. Like we are a long ways off from the farm bill. This answers the question that I've had many times before about whether they could punt or possibly put an extension on it. It looks like that's possibly what's going to happen. Like I said before, kudos to Gary Karras for pointing this out or putting this up on the internet for me to catch. I'm a little envious of it because I'm normally the one that catches these articles before anybody else. If you guys, like I said, would like a really good follow, go over to LinkedIn and follow Gary Karras. That's Karas. You guys can check him out. And I hope you guys appreciate the news. And I hope you guys appreciate. And if you guys have any questions or anything like that, please hit me in the comments down in the bottom. I apologize for being a little bit jawed up this morning. It's real early on a Monday morning, and I was a little bit fired up, but I appreciate it. And I'll talk to you guys later, man. Love you guys. See you.